Hey, this is the Trillionaire meeting, and we are here with Jungle Bae. She's an ecopreneur, cares a lot about the planet and the well-being of others. How you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Glad to be here with you, Trillionaire. So thank you for inviting me on. And
sure.
I've been looking forward to connecting with you for quite a while now, and it's glad to finally do this.
Yeah, it's
a
super
good
cool.
thing.
Yeah, so it's 12:15 over here in Oakland, San Francisco area, and you're all the way in London. What time is it over there?
Well, now I would say 8:15 for us here, and it's still daylight. It's gorgeous. We're approaching summer.
PM?
Yeah, it's our summertime now. So it's not as sunny as it should be, but we're thankful to be alive. That's the message.
Okay, is it like 8 hours of sun or 12 hours of sun?
No, I wish it was 12. We'd be lucky if we get 2 hours of sun and then rain. We get rain. But no, we are in our British summer season right now. So, it's feeling good.
Okay. Or I probably should have said sun. I meant like daylight. Like how long is the daylight compared to the nighttime out there?
We get a solid 8 hours, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Because I know in some places like it's dark 24/7, like Antarctica, and then in the summertime it's like bright 24/7.
That would be such an adventure.
Yeah, for sure.
Antarctica would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. So it's been a very interesting couple of years, and we're both creative people. And I'm curious to know how you were able to get inspired and be creative during quarantine and lockdown and things like that.
Well, it kind of started where what really pushed me into wellness is that I faced the typical industry burnout. So about 3 years ago, I had a music publishing company out here in the UK, and I was going backwards and forwards from the US to the UK, back and forth. And I kept ignoring the signs that my body was giving me. I was consistently tired throughout the day. You know what it's like in the recording studios. There's no daylight. You'd be lucky if you get a window. So living that 24 hours, and I was, drinking Red Bull drinks, which are full of taurine and stimulants to keep you active, lots of caffeine. So that pretty much was my lifestyle every day since 2013 to, I would say, 2018. And I kept ignoring the signs to the point where I was in a situation where my body just decided to stop for me. So for a whole year and a half before lockdown happened, I was completely bedridden and very unwell, very, very unwell. And the doctors basically said to me, you either have lymphoma, which is a form of cancer, or a condition called sarcoidosis. And they eventually diagnosed me with sarcoidosis, which is an inflammatory condition. And what that means is that my cortisol levels were raised so much because of the years of burnout, and I was ignoring the signs that inflammation had risen in my body. And in turn, that caused sarcoidosis. So I had to learn the hard way. So I was in lockdown before the whole world was in lockdown. So pretty much I've been 2.5 years now just on this healing journey. So I've kept myself busy through doing research, through studying, through having beautiful conversations like what we're having together right now, learning what to do and what not to do, and also learning, about the human body. So that's really kept me busy during this lockdown. Just making a plan for health and deciding not to go through that journey again.
Yeah.
So I've come out of the industry, and now my purpose is to still talk to people in the music industry, such as yourself, about ways that they can avoid the burnout so they don't go through what I went through. So that's, in a nutshell, my story.
Okay. Yeah, that's super, super cool. Yeah,
Thank you.
Definitely is. You definitely could get unhealthy. I catch myself sometimes, like it's easier for things to turn into parties. Like everything in music turns to a party afterward. The studio session turns to a party. The shows are parties. And you have like maybe more drinks than you thought.
Yeah.
A lot of Red Bulls.
I know.
Fast food. So yeah, for sure.
Especially in San Francisco. I mean, you guys have such a healthy, independent culture, but these independent cafes and bars Are they predominantly plant-based? What's the food culture like in San Francisco?
I'll say it's a mixture of everything. There is a big vegan thing going on right now. Like a lot of people are going vegan, and I've been noticing I've been seeing a lot more vegan options for stuff. Like restaurants over here are offering like vegan sour cream and vegan cheese options.
Ooh, that's good.
Saying,
Really like that.
Yeah, the Mexican restaurant I go to, they serve vegan cheesecake, and kind of vegan options, and yeah, even like some of the burger places out here, I've been seeing a lot of vegan cheese options and stuff like that.
Heaven.
So definitely, yeah, it's definitely getting really cool. I was still a fan of the regular cheese and sour cream though.
They haven't quite got the vegan alternative right just yet. They're working on it. I promise you that.
Yeah, but yeah, pretty cool though. And yeah, let me see what was I just getting ready to say. Oh yeah, when you're eating healthy, I'm a vegetarian. I'm not vegan. When you're eating like vegetables and stuff, how do you get full?
To be honest with you, trial and error. So when I first became, I didn't go from meat straight to veggies, because growing up in my household, honey, you could not. There's always curried goat. There's always tilapia fish. All of the goats. If it runs, it's going in the bowl. If it quacks, it's going in the oven. You know. So I come from culture of meat, and so it was very difficult for me to. So I had to go to pescatarian, which is fish. Then vegetarian, back to meat, on and off. But how I get full right now is through my proteins and through my grains. So throughout the day, I'll snack, but I will mainly just have like a handful of trail mix or a handful of nuts, hemp protein. So that pretty much, I make it very thick. So I'll add dates to it. I'll add peanuts, or I'll add walnuts. And it really thickens the consistency up of the smoothie. So I'll have that at least twice a day. And then, I've got a little rhythm with my body now. I've got an intuitive rhythm. So I'll pretty much just eat one meal and I feel satisfied. And it's ever so strange because I love food, but my body, I've learned to listen to what it wants. And in winter, I'll have 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But in spring and summer, my body is doing a lot of healing and restoration. So I'll just have one big meal. So grains, load up on your grains. Fill yourself up with your lentils, your pulses, your quinoa, your couscous.
I'm gonna write that down.
Of course, yes.
I love quinoa. Quinoa is great. Yeah.
Black quinoa is excellent.
Okay. I make these black lentils tacos. That's one of my dish. Yeah, I get the taco shells and use the black lentils.
That's beautiful. And the black beans as well, they're really filling. You need your irons as well, like your kidney beans. They're very good, the red kidney beans.
Okay.
And you want to avoid anything white. So stay away from white flour, white sugar, white, refined. So replace it for coconut sugar. Replace white sugar with agave syrup.
Okay.
There are natural alternatives. And half the time, a lot of these ingredients that are white, they're bleached.
Okay.
They're bleached. So there's little tips and tricks. And of course, after this, I will share with you, I've got an ebook coming out and I'll share with you all of the recipes and tips. But load up on your protein, load up on your meaty mushrooms, like your oyster mushrooms, your shiitake mushrooms, portobello, have some of those. Add nuts to the dish, that will thicken it up. Add lentils, chickpeas as well, And I find baking in the oven thickens up my dishes quite a lot.
Okay.
When I griddle my dishes, it releases too much water, and I find I cannot stand watery food. And sweet potato is very good for you as well. Carotene, you need that. You need that for your skin, for your heart, for everything. But load up on as many sweet potatoes as possible.
That's super, super cool. Yeah. I saw some of your dishes on Instagram on the food stories archive. What do you call it? I can't remember the name of it. It's on Instagram. I think it's called like stories.
Yeah.
Highlights. Yeah, on your highlight. Yeah. So that's super, super cool.
Thank you so much. It's life-changing, It's
Yeah,
life changing.
I just it just slipped my mind. Um, oh yeah, vitamins that people don't necessarily, I wouldn't say don't necessarily pay attention to, but sort of under the
Mm,
radar vitamins that are very important. Because I saw
mm,
one that you were talking about that was good for anxiety, and then
mm,
things like that.
mm.
What was the name of that one again?
There's a few actually for anxiety, but there's one particular supplement called Valerian Roots.
Okay.
That helped me a lot because I went through a bit of trauma in the music industry and I can't go into it right now. That's a whole different story. But for about a year, I had palpitations and it was a serious thing. So Valerian helped me to balance out my hormones and helped me to balance out my moods. And Valerian root is very good at night before you go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, you know what it's like. You're a creative. You're in the music studio late nights. There's a lot of late nights, and what it does is it makes you feel like you've had a full night's sleep, even though you may have only had 2 hours. And I wouldn't recommend having valerian root consistently,
Mm-hmm.
but if you feel that you need an extra support, if you need an adaptogen, valerian is a form of an adaptogen that will help regulate your body, and you will find yourself having less anxiety attacks. And it took me about a month of taking valerian root and also melatonin as well.
Oh, yeah, melatonin, yeah.
Yeah. And then I was zen. People thought, what? She's almost reclining as she's standing. What's going on? But they didn't realize that I was just completely zenned out. And these vitamins and adaptogens were just balancing my body. And it's the best thing I could recommend for anyone suffering with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Also, maca root as well is very good for men.
Okay. How do you spell it?
Maca. MACA.
Okay, maca rim.
Maca, just maca powder, or you can get maca root. But I would recommend the powder for first timers.
Okay.
Now, maca root is very good for men because it helps to increase libido, or sexual stamina.
Watch out.
And watch out. But not only that, it's prostate health. So it nourishes the flow of the sperm.
Okay.
It also helps men to produce healthy sperm instead of, dead ones. So what that does is actually helps men to feel balanced because, women have the monthly cycle, but men also go through that as well without releasing blood. So what maca does for a man is it balances out a male hormones, and it also provides prostate support as well. So you want to have maca, and it also helps to strengthen your muscles and brain function. It's a very masculine adaptogen. So you definitely want to bring that gently into your diet. I would recommend it.
Okay. About how much? Like, what would I put it on? Like, maybe in a shake or a blender? Something like
you
that?
could do, definitely.
Okay.
Some people sprinkle maca on their cereal or their porridge. Some people put a couple of scoops into their smoothie, and some people just whisk it up in water and just drink it. It really depends. And each serving is completely up to you. And it's always best to consult a doctor first before taking, an adaptogen, or to see if it works for you and it doesn't counter, act with any medication that you're taking. But definitely a scoop in your smoothie, a scoop sprinkled on your cereal is good for you. Definitely. Every day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to check it out. How did you spell the first one? It was it started with a V. I was trying to remember.
Valerian. So that's VALERIAN.
Okay, Valerian. Okay, I have to check that
Yeah.
out.
And honestly, that one I can personally recommend because I was really, really, under some stress, and it just helped me so much. It's a godsend.
Yeah. That's super cool. Yeah, music business is. I'm not sure how it is in the UK. Were you in the music business out there or in the States?
A bit of both, but mainly in the UK. That's a whole different story. Mainly in the UK.
Okay. Yeah. How is it out there? Or if you don't want to get into it.
The industry. It's still old-fashioned here.
Okay.
And only now are they starting to realize that it's okay to put Black artists at the forefront of the scene. But it took a lot of pushing to to see that change. So now it's really cool. You've got these artists coming from the underground, and they're Black artists. They identify as Black and natural hair. Very cool. So finally this year we're starting to see a push of that, and that's awesome. But in the past 5 years, I mean, I was in the industry, you know, a few years ago, it looked very different then, and it was very rigid. You know, I went in with songs that I'd written, very soulful, you know, kind of, you know, influenced by 90s soul with a hint of funk. But they didn't understand it, they didn't get it. And, you know, they wanted to dilute what I was doing into a more sexualized form of what they think a Black woman should be. Now, I'm all for sexuality, sweetheart. But when somebody brings art to you, I don't try and dilute the thing. And the over-sexualization of women, not only women, but Black women in the UK has been a massive problem in the industry. But I'm starting to see change now. Black women are not expected to do the vagina thing anymore. They are able to come in as they are, natural women, curvy women, you know, whatever type of woman you are. Whereas before, they expected you to fit a certain stereotype, and I wasn't prepared to do that. I wasn't prepared to compromise. And yeah, I exited stage left, basically. But it's really promising. I'm so excited to get back in the industry at some point. There's no rush. Art doesn't have a time limit. So naturally, organically, in time, yes.
Okay. So yeah. You were going for the record label sort of situation?
I did, yeah. I went through the whole corporate structure.
Okay.
I did. Yeah, but with my own company, but investor, and like, you know, there was people that I went to see, different labels, and yeah. But I'm so excited that the industry is different now. So there's a bit more promise for us as artists now, because as you know, you can build up your own organic structure.
Yeah.
And do you?
Yeah, that's what's dope about the internet. Like, that's what I like about it. It's just straight to the artist. Like, that old system is starting to crumble right now.
Thank God.
Yeah, you can just start a YouTube channel and have your own TV network content and build your group up that way. And that's what's really cool.
Awesome. I heard a snippet of the girl group that you're working with. The Honeyco. Yeah. Cool. How long have you been working with them?
I actually met them maybe 6 months ago. I met them maybe end of last year. Yeah, about end of last year. And then that was actually the first thing we worked on. I was just working on it, and they had something, and then just like, yeah, let's finish this up.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah. Honeyco. So it was great. It's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll enjoy the song because you're into like the soulful stuff. It's very soulful. Yeah.
I love Karen Wheeler, Soul to Soul, Lenny Kravitz.
Oh yeah.
You know, the real cats.
What does the racism look like in Europe compared to like the United States?
There really is no comparison, because some of the things that I've seen that's happening in America is devastating. But to be honest with you, it was always there, but now we just have iPhones. Now we have technology. You know, these things were happening a lot, you know. But over here, it's more systemic. It's more subtle. It's more blacklisting. It's more corporate structures denying the promotion of. It's more financial oppression. It's different. It's a bit more of a financial, you know, oppression, as opposed to overt killing, you know. So it's different. But still, I mean, it can have as much damage. I mean, if you're basically denied a mortgage, or, you know, you go and see houses and you're told, this isn't for you, and the estate agent, and, you know, I mean, that's material. That's very material. But still, how is a young Black couple supposed to get on the property ladder if they're being prevented from, you know, having access to mortgages? And, you know, so there's little things that can stop and hinder the process of the culture here. But to be honest with you, I haven't experienced it as much as I imagine my darker friends and family have experienced it. So I can only speak from my experiences. I've been called names. I've been called, it doesn't matter. Like these things you can quickly get over. What I can't get over is seeing in this day and age, our brother or our sister being literally slain like an animal in the streets.
Yeah.
That doesn't sit, that's, and the fact that it's even allowed to be on the internet is a problem. It's the glorification of murder. It's a snuff movie, and people should not be able to access this on the internet. That's my issue. It's the lack of censorship.
Yeah.
It's desensitizing the humans to seeing that towards our culture.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is. People are a lot used to seeing stuff like that. And it's like people are like not even surprised anymore.
It's sad.
I do see it. Yeah, it's pretty sad.
And I was saying the same thing about National Geographic, and I'm dropping names right now, and I don't care if I get blacklisted. I have a little bone to pick with National Geographic. I must say that some of their photographers have been receiving awards for National Photographer of the Year when they capture dying children in Africa. So they go to Africa to take pictures and come back, and they get awards and money to take pictures of dying children. Now, I'm all for nature. I'm all for, like, some National Geographic has some awesome information in for travelers. Mm-hmm. But what I don't understand is, again, the desensitization. Nobody should be able to take pictures of sick children and get awards for it. Now, that also needs to be stopped. You know, I'm all about consciousness. I'm all about the planet. But why are people getting awards for photographing dying African children or children in Iraq, children in third world countries? Nobody should be getting any awards for photographing sick children. That's also an issue as well. So there's serious shake-ups that need to be had. And I think this corona situation has really humbled humankind, and it needed to happen. I'm saying this on camera. It needed to happen because the humankind lost their way. They lost their way.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
so I hope
crazy. Yeah.
I hope we emerge out of this with a new sense of compassion and humble humility. I hope we emerge out of this with a sense of humility as well. We don't have all of the power, and we don't have all of the answers. One virus taught humankind that, and there's more to come if humans don't start behaving themselves, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was definitely a interesting time. And I think people got the chance to just sit down and think a lot over the past couple of years. I know I had a lot of time to think, just being in the house and thinking and stuff, and wondering what's important and what's not important, and things that I was like just worried about that just weren't important in that time. What was important was like my family and stuff at that time. And
right.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And are your family okay? I mean, did everybody survive during the pandemic? Are they blessed?
Yeah. Everybody survived.
That's good.
Yeah, so it was pretty interesting. But yeah, we're still we still got a little ways to go though. It's still a little weird. I think it's a little stranger now than they're pretty cool though. So what exactly do you do with the United Nations?
Well, I represented the United Kingdom for eco-sustainability, and that was quite surreal, but also an honor as well, because to stand up there in New York and discuss, where my country's at from a young person's perspective, because it was an honor. It truly was. So I spoke about, things that the UK are doing, the developments, statistics of sustainability, land ownership and how diversification in wellness and sustainability is happening. So I had to partner up with my partner, who, not my romantic partner, we were allocated as duos. So 2 of us represented the UK, 1 male and 1 female. And it was a complete honor. So we had like a few months to get our statistics together, our reports, and yeah, go to New York and just represent the country. It was awesome. And I made really good friends with Kazakhstan. And if she sees this, you're wonderful. And I look forward to visiting. And she was a complete queen, and the way she spoke for her country was excellent. And they don't have all of the resources, but she was really proud of where she came from. So I really enjoyed, speaking with Kazakhstan. So yeah, it was a great experience, and especially being, a young woman of color at the time, to go there and, be in the same hall as some of the greats politically and speak was a miracle, because, to come out of the music industry and be using your voice in one way and asking and praying for a new purpose, and then that happens, I just felt, this is the purpose. This is what I need to be doing. This is where I need to be going, because the reality of life is earth needs to be preserved. Land needs to be preserved. Farmers need respect, because when everything goes bust, people will have to return to the soil, and the soil should always have its respect, because it's what feeds us, it's what sustains us, and it is the longevity of the earth. When humans die out and we are extinct, when cities fall, hopefully we will have some crops, right? So we have to cultivate and regenerate and just keep respecting the soil that's beneath our feet. So it was a complete honor. And my mission now is to ensure, especially in the UK, that there is more diversity in land ownership, because there isn't. And I think it will be a great thing also, because there are so many things that the different communities could teach each other about planting and growing. And I think it would be a great step for humanity if, land was equally shared amongst multiple communities, and seeing many documentaries about this, on Netflix, you see that there is a disconnect in America, especially. You see a lot of food deserts, especially in North New Orleans. You see just groups of people not being able to reach resources. Certain pockets of America, certain communities don't have access. So I think all of that now needs to be stopped. And I think people need to just open up, share, trade skills together, and just start putting the attention back on the earth. So that was a complete honor to represent my country and go and speak. Yes, and thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Now the final mission with that is I'll be going back as soon as it's safe to. So I'll be going back to New York to speak again for the UK. But in the meantime, there are loads of people in the UK that need help. They need herbal support. So I've got a charity which I founded called Herbs Heal Hearts, and I'm putting together gift packages to give to single parents, single mothers, women, people who are living in women's shelters, single dads who clearly don't have the funds to go to Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or Boots and buy overpriced medicine and herbal remedies, basically.
That's super.
So
yeah.
We've had so much support. So thank you, everybody that supported.
Oh, yeah. Let me grab my laptop charger real fast. I forgot to plug it in.
No problem. Technology.
Yeah. It's right back here.
Cool stuff.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully the other question I had slides back in. It had to do with the health stuff. It was a good question too. It was in my head, but it just slid out. It just went woo. You seem very, very spiritual also. Like, what's your spiritual background?
Spiritual background, interesting. I've seen ghosts. I've felt the presence of extraterrestrial beings. I think I've gone through all the phases of spiritualism apart from nirvana. I feel like I've been connected to different energy. They come and visit every now and again. You get different visitations, you know. Have you experienced that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome, right? Yeah.
Do you like gather like a lot of energy? Sometimes I can't be around like large groups of people because I just gather up energies from a lot of people, and it can be a lot to deal with. So, do you ever like feel that when you're like in like well, before quarantine? I'm not sure. It's like groups are getting together now, but before quarantine, would you like just gather up a lot of data and information and energy from everybody in the room?
Yes, empath. So you tell you one little secret, which is not really a secret, but it helps. After you've been around, for example, the studio, there's a big gathering happening. When you get back to your apartment or wherever, fill up a bath, get some Himalayan salts and just fill it up. 2 handfuls of Himalayan salts or Epsom salts. That recharges your energy because being around a lot of people can drain you. So you need salt to bring it back into your body. Even if, because I know a lot of American places, they don't really do baths, but as long as your hand or your foot touches salt, you'll be restored. So soak your feet in salt the same way, or put your hands in a bowl of salt and immediately the energy will come back to you. It may take about 20 minutes, but that helps to instantly restore you. It's so draining being around groups of people because you can read, you're like scanning the souls of humans and you're like, I see you. I see you. I see you. And it's so hard to turn it off sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and you can tell when there's a pagan. You know what? Some of my friends are pagans, you know, to be honest with you. They dance around fire. They go to Scotland. They do the whole thing. But there's good pagans and there's bad pagans. Now, I in a roll with good pagans. You know, they'll lay down white flowers in summer. They'll appreciate summer solstice and, you know, they'll burn sage. But every now and again, your soul will just recognize, you just get the evil eye towards you and you're like, you know what, you're a bad pagan. I don't want you anywhere near me. And you can see them just preying you and you know, your soul, if your soul is protected, if you're doing your salt baths, if you're like cleansing your space with Himalayan salt, you know, you can kind of let it just bounce off you. So just stay doing that. I promise you.
Are you into like crystals and metals? I wear like copper. I wear like a lot of copper and
Do you?
Yeah, I have Labradorite that I wear.
Oh, what does that mean? What's Labradorite?
Labradorite, it's interdimensional travel.
Whoa.
Let me see. I'll actually pull it up so I can tell you.
Interdimensional travel.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's a few different things. Yeah, so Labradorite. Okay, it says
I'll be honest with you.
What are you about to say?
No, continue. I'll tell you the crystal story after.
Okay. It says a stone of transformation, Labradorite, is a useful companion through change, imparting strength and perseverance. It balances and protects the aura, raises consciousness, and grounds spiritual energies. Excellent for strengthening intuition, promoting psychic abilities. Powerful, revealing the truth behind illusions, Labradorite banishes fears and insecurities and strengthens faith in the self and trust in the universe. It stimulates the imagination and calms an overactive mind, developing enthusiasm and new ideas.
That's awesome. And how long has that stone been in your life?
I got it for Christmas in 2000. I want to say 2016 or 17. I had this ring for a little while. I got it from a little gift shop in Alameda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Alameda is it's a little island right out of Oakland. You go through this tunnel. Yeah, it's a.
Are there a lot of witches there and wizards? Is it like a little magic place? What?
Maybe it is an interesting island.
So what happens there? What's interesting about it?
They have a nice winery there. I went to college there for a semester. I took a Spanish class and a music theory class there.
Cool.
Yeah, winery. It's just interesting to have an island right off of Oakland, and but the
cool.
houses and stuff there are very like back in the day. Like it kind of looks like the South, but like in the middle of the Bay Area, it looks pretty southern, like old style houses. And yeah.
I love New Orleans, you know. I want to grow old in New Orleans. If the houses are anything like New Orleans, like that old, like, you know, vibe. Love that.
Yeah.
And their food's so amazing. I love like Creole food and Southern food.
Yeah. I haven't been in New Orleans. I've been in Louisiana though. I went to Alexandria and Monroe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
so I was going to tell you a little interesting story about the crystals. So, you know what I did? One day I just woke up and I decided to just get everything new age. So my Doreen Virtue Oracle cards, my crystals. Now, I used to be so big on crystals. I'd have rose quartz, I'd have amethyst. You know, they're the basic ones. But then I had the Melody Stone, which is, if you research the Melody Stone, that's 7 crystals in one. And I'm telling you, that's when the astral travel started. And literally, I would leave my body, go to different realms and come back. It was too powerful for me and it disappeared. The crystal disappeared. And to this day, I haven't found the crystal.
The Melody Stone?
So, the Melody Stone, yeah, it's from Brazil. It's a very rare stone from Brazil. Okay. And I had one tiny piece of it in a locket, you know, and I paid quite a lot of money. I think it was like 800 UK pounds for this one little crystal. And it was very rough, but it was purple and gold and brown. And I'd astral traveled, you know, my consciousness expanded. But I would say about 1.5 years ago, I decided to give my life to God. And I came to God and I says, forgive me. Because I was a witch. I was a practicing witch. I'll be straight up with you. Full moon, down the park, crystals out, charging them, you know, selenite ones, sage, palo santo, you know, manifesting abundance and all of these things. And the more I was practicing, the more depressed I got, the more deep into the occult I got. You know, I got very deep. You know, there's only so much I can say on camera, but it got deep. And, you know, my well-being was being affected. I got very depressed. So 1.5 years ago, I just got everything together and I asked my next door neighbor in Barnet, I says, can I borrow your barrel? And do you mind if I set fire? Can I set fire in this barrel? And he was like, yes, darling, do you need help? I was like, yeah. So he lit the fire for me. Okay. And I tipped everything new age into that barrel and I set fire to it and I watched everything burn. And I said, this is the end of this. And you know what happened since then? Life got better. It did. My healing, I'm so much better. I'm not sick anymore. Like my healing, because I was very unwell. I was in bed for 1.5 years. My healing instantly within months got better. I reconnected with my family. My finances got, a little bit back in order. Everything just instantly. I just had to close that door. I really did. And I would never judge anyone on their spiritual journey, but I would say just be careful with what you're dabbling with, because if you've not protected yourself spiritually, you're going to open up yourself to realms that you're not prepared for spiritually. And that's exactly what I did. I was naive when I opened up the gateways.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the music business is one of those realms for sure that a lot of people are ready for, because the devil was the angel of music.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And he's handsome too.
Yeah. And
he hums a sweet tune. And he plays the bagpipes like nobody's played the bagpipes.
Yeah.
He can play a flute, he can play everything. And he was with me for a long time, He gives melodies, he gives everything. He was there,
Yeah.
But God stepped in and said, this is my daughter. You understand? So it's a process.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool though. That's super cool. So
I'll say one last thing on the topic.
Okay.
You've got to know darkness to know light. So there's no way that I could have known this if I wasn't in darkness. So I'm so grateful for the darkness as well. It's yin and yang, right? It's They're together. And I can easily switch back to the darkness. This is what people don't understand. They think just because I've given my life to Christ doesn't mean I will not banish you spiritually. Right. So I can put a little voodoo on you. Don't try it. But,
So now I know why you like New Orleans. I know why you like New Orleans so much now.
Woo! New Orleans was perfect, I'm telling you, there's a lot of voodoo queens and but they also believe in God too. But, they do good magic, basically. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, Louisiana as a whole was, I felt that I was about 3 hours from New Orleans, and when I was down there, I was still like, this place is interesting.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. Like, it just has a whole different, being in California, we're just like free spirited. Everything is pretty much accepted over here. It's like la 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 la, but you get down there, it's like, oh, yeah, it's a little different over here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've only been to San Francisco once. And it was when I was in the middle of the music industry, and I wasn't really allowed to do much. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. And I understand why, because, you can't just have the artist going off, la, 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 la. But I wish that I was just given a bit more privacy and a bit more freedom.
Yeah.
Because, there was some jazz clubs I wanted to go to, but I had a great time, and we stayed right by in this beautiful hotel, and we went to see Royo's art, and now he's one of my favorite artists, and we just missed Royo, the man himself, by one day. So I had a great time, but next time I'm going to do the artist experience, definitely.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was in cars, in the hotel, dinner, back to it was like I couldn't do anything. But next time I'm going to really explore. Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely a great New York. Did you explore New York when you went out there?
Yeah, definitely. I was there with a friend of yours, actually.
This world is so tiny. It scares me how tiny the world is.
I know.
Sometimes I don't want to go nowhere. I'm like, everybody knows each other. It's tiny.
I know. I'm very low key. Yeah. New York's a whole different situation now. New York's awesome.
Yeah, I love New York. Yeah,
it's so awesome.
Beautiful place. Yeah, it's super cool. So, are you currently going to Cambridge still?
Yeah, I've got a couple of months left of my course.
Okay, philosophy.
Yeah, in the big institution. Because that's what it is. It's the institution. And the reason I say that is because it's designed at whatever level to numb down the human consciousness. And I've only got a couple of months left of my course, so I can say this without fear. It's just brain training, but I don't know if it's to the benefit of human consciousness, to be honest with you. It's programming, isn't it? It's like, sit down, we're going to lecture you for 4 hours. And whoever can repeat back what we've lectured the best gets a certificate, or gets, a degree, and to be honest with you, I've learned more philosophy from having conversations on subways with random people in New York, speaking to people. You just speak to your neighbor. I think the real philosophy is love. And I'm only just now understanding that. So I'm grateful for the institution, but at the same time, it's difficult because I don't feel like I can fit in a box. So yeah, it's kind of hard to keep still. So the lectures, they go on, so they're like 8 hours. And this isn't to discourage any youngsters watching this. Go to school, okay? Please. Don't be rock and roll about it like I am right now. But seriously, it's very hard to keep still. It's very hard. And I think philosophy, there should be a physical element to it where, you have to do some humanitarian work. You have to do some on the ground stuff, because then you'll see philosophy at play. Then you'll see true philosophy out in the world. Now, what is philosophy? What is philosophy?
Yeah.
I still don't have the answer. 3 years and some change and some money, I still don't have the answer. But I'm grateful. And I had to go through that experience to know that it isn't for me, in a sense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't to discourage anybody else. Please continue. Go to Harvard. Go everywhere. Go wherever. But keep your ears in these streets too, because I think street knowledge is more real.
Yes, it's pretty important. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, DMX was one of the dopest philosophers I've ever met and known musically. We all love DMX. He was a scholar, an architect, a philosopher. You know, Nipsey, these prophets, they come along in musical form or poetry and art. You know, you look at an oil painting and it's philosophy right in front of your face. You know, these are the people that are really making it real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, philosophy shouldn't know class. Philosophy shouldn't know status. But according to some institutions, that's the case. How is that philosophy?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah,
right.
for sure. But that definitely is important though. Yeah, having that like street in the field knowledge, like having went through a few things and you know, stuff. It's just certain things you can't teach in school. You know, for sure. Yeah. Definitely a few things you can't teach. I don't think going to school. I think going to school for like music is good, but I think you still also have to get out and play gigs and mess up on stage. I think if you're like into audio, you have to like blow out a couple speakers on accident, and maybe the studio one of the monitors isn't working right, so like having to figure out how to problem solve and fix it, and also the people skills part of it. You can be really good, but if you can't communicate well and stuff like that, you know.
That's awesome. So did you teach yourself to engineer when you got into sound? Was it like a natural thing for you, or have you had a lot of mentors or like engineers sit you down and tell you the science behind sound?
A mixture of both. For music, first it was music. It was church. I came up playing in church and stuff like that, and then yeah, so that's where the music came from. And my family is pretty musical, but as far as sound and stuff like that, I just started going up there with actually my first mentor. His name was Maurice Bircher. So passed away in 2011. But yeah, he was working the soundboard, and I was just going up there and learning from him. And then YouTube became a thing, and I got a little internship at a studio, just kind of like sweeping the floor and cleaning up and stuff. Learned that way. So yeah, mentors and trial and error is pretty much how I learned. Yeah.
That's amazing. Have you ever had like a mentor that screams at you? You know, like crazy scientists kind of, they get a little antsy.
Nah, I've had that in school though. That's the reason why I didn't like school a lot. You know? Yeah. And it was more encouraging. Like I made bigger mistakes like in music and in the studio than I've like than in school. In school you just get an answer wrong and then it's like the end of the world. But I would like drop a hard drive or something and I would just think I was screwed, and then they'll just start laughing like, yeah, we all dropped hard drive before. Like
that's beautiful. You know, positive reinforcement is wellness. Yeah, that's so nice. That's so important.
Yeah. That's what made me hate school, because it's like, don't make a mistake, you just have to be perfect here. But then outside of school, it was like a better environment. It was way cooler.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's wicked. I look forward to hearing more of your productions and symphonies and melodies. I'd never like to call people's music beats. I find it disrespectful. So, you know,
we are on the same page, big time.
Chords, symphonies, melodies.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, cheers.
Awesome.
For sure.
Wonderful.
You have any closing remarks to say to the people?
Yes, I do. My closing remarks to the people is take care of your soul, take care of your inner being, and the rest will fall into place.
For sure.
You are the vessel that's going to drive you to your dreams or stop you and hinder you. So you really have to put the right fuel in your body, absorb the right content, absorb the right human interactions, and absorb the right food and nutrition. And that's my closing remark. Jungle Bae with a Trillionaire.
Oh yeah.
That's it. You know, we've done this. We've connected two souls we've never met in person, you know, and this is the power of connection over the internet. So use it for good. Use it for good.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, thanks for joining.
Cheers. You take care.
For sure, you too.
Peace. Peace. One love.